Yo, welcome to Philosopher's Stoned. I got a new mic in this motherfucker that I wanted to test out. This episode is definitely quite different than my normal format. I'm basically going to be going over an article and some other articles I found and reporting on the gigantic Clinton death pool. All the deaths that relate to the Clinton administration. I'm not going to get into Benghazi because that's its own fucking episode in itself, and I don't even know if I want to cover that. I mean, I probably will if I get bored one day. But, I try to stay away from the deep state shit. It's kind of cluttered with fucking LARPers and fucking the QAnon AI bullshit that I definitely don't buy into. Now, if you want to talk about that with me and we're somewhat friends, you can go ahead and do that. I'm open to talk about it, but I'm going to let you know right now, Q is bullshit, and I don't believe it for a second. So you should know who Hillary Clinton is, right? You should know who Bill Clinton is, right? You should know who George Clinton is, right? He doesn't have nothing to do with this shit. But the first two definitely do. Now, these motherfuckers are tied into so much nefarious shit. Epstein, Podesta, Anthony Weiner's laptop that I shouldn't have even mentioned because now I'm probably flagged on some list. They're just, going all the way back to the fucking Iran-Contra shit. They are just nasty, nasty folks. Fuck the Clintons. Yeah, basically, we're just going to start going down the list of all the deaths. I think there's around 47 or 48 or something. So here we go. We'll start with James McDougal. Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner died of an apparent heart attack while in solitary confinement. He was a key witness in Ken Starr's investigation. Okay. How convenient. He dies of a heart attack while in solitary confinement. How many deaths are we going to encounter on this list that happened in solitary confinement? Jeffrey Epstein was in solitary confinement. But he's not fucking dead, is he? Alright, now we're going to Mary Mahoney. A former White House intern was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown. The murder happened just after she was to go public with her story of sexual harassment in the White House. Sounds like another fucking story of someone about to whistleblow on some bullshit happening in the White House and they get at a fucking Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? That's some pretty hardcore shit to just go and fucking cap somebody at a Starbucks. Number 3, we have Vince Foster, former White House counselor and colleague of Hillary Clinton at Little Rock's Rose Law firm. Died of a gunshot wound to the head. Ruled a suicide. Very easily open shut case, right? Died of a gunshot wound to the head. Ruled a suicide. I guarantee you there wasn't much of an investigation on the direction of the gunshot. You know, Dexter wasn't in that motherfucker going blood splatter here, blood splatter there. They just saw the gunshot, ruled it a suicide. The Clintons have so much fucking pull, it's unreal. Number 4, we have Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce and former DNC chairman, reported to have died by impact in a plane crash. A pathologist close to the investigation reported that there was a hole in the top of Brown's skull resembling a gunshot wound. At the time of his death, Brown was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died. A few days later, the air traffic controller committed suicide. What the fuck? So, they say Ron Brown died from impact on the plane crash, but they found a hole on the top of his fucking head that resembled a gunshot wound, and then the air traffic controller committed suicide out of guilt that he wasn't doing his job right. but it just doesn't make any fucking sense. So number 5, we got C. Victor Razor II. Razor, a major player in the Clinton fundraising organization, died in a private plane crash in July 1992. Man, when did planes stop crashing? I feel like there isn't many plane crashes anymore. It's kind of like they've slowly gone down. Have the pilots gotten better, or are these fucking elite motherfuckers finding different ways to kill people? We'll never know. Number 6, Paul Tully, Democratic National Committee political director, found dead in a hotel room in Little Rock, September 1992. Described by Clinton as a dear friend and trusted advisor. Little Rock, Arkansas. All the fucking drugs that Bill Clinton was running on those private planes. Maybe Paul Tully knew a little bit too much, and Hillary was like, kill that motherfucker. Number 7, we have Ed Willie. He was a Clinton fundraiser, found dead November 1993 deep in the woods in Virginia of a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. Ed Willie died on the same day. His wife, Kathleen Willie, claimed Bill Clinton groped her in the Oval Office in the White House. Ed Willie was involved in several Clinton fundraising events. So we have this fundraising guy for the Clintons. His wife is saying Bill Clinton got grabby with her, and then they find him dead in the woods with a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. The coincidences are very astounding, aren't they? Your wife is coming out saying this shit about Bill Clinton, and then you're found fucking dead in the woods from a gunshot wound. Oh, you just couldn't deal with the fact that your wife got groped by Bill Clinton and you just decided to fucking cut the vinyl? Nah, man. That's some bullshit. Number 8, we have Jerry Parks, head of Clinton's gubernatorial security team in Little Rock. Gunned down in his car at a deserted intersection outside Little Rock. His son said his father was building a dossier on Clinton. He allegedly threatened to reveal this information. After he died, the files were mysteriously removed from the house. This shit smells so bad. Even if this is like defamation of the Clintons, which it obviously isn't. I mean, how many people do you know personally that have committed suicide? If you're unlucky, probably maybe like 5 or 6. It just doesn't fucking add up here. And all these people that died are said to have some information on the Clintons that they were about to reveal. We'll keep going down the list. Number 9, James Bunch died from a gunshot wound suicide. Again, it was reported that he had a black book of people which contained names of influential people who visited prostitutes in Texas and Arkansas. I guess the Clintons are the ones who coined the term suicided. You got suicided by the Clintons. You didn't commit suicide, but they made it look like you did. There's so many fucking names. I need to speed this up. Number 10, James Wilson was found dead in May 1993 from an apparent hanging suicide. He was reported to have ties to Whitewater. Now you can Google Whitewater and see the connections there. Number 11, Kathy Ferguson, ex-wife of Arkansas Trooper Danny Ferguson, was found dead in May 1994 in her living room with a gunshot to her head. It was ruled a suicide even though there were several packed suitcases as if she were going somewhere. Danny Ferguson was a co-defendant along with Bill Clinton in the Paula Jones lawsuit. Kathy Ferguson was a possible corroborating witness for Paula Jones. Fucking stinky, dude. Number 12, Bill Shelton, Arkansas State Trooper and fiancé of Kathy Ferguson. Critical of the suicide ruling of his fiancé, he was found dead in June 1994 of a gunshot wound, also ruled a suicide at the gravesite of his fiancé. So that's real dramatic. He was pissed off at the ruling of his fiance's suicide, and he went ahead and shot himself at her grave. It's a nice fluff piece for the Clintons, isn't it? 13. Gandhi Ba, attorney for Clinton's friend Dan Lassiter, died by jumping out a window of a tall building January 1994. His client was a convicted drug distributor. So number 14, we got Florence Martin, accountant and subcontractor for the CIA. Fucking flag number 1. She was related to the Barry Seal, Mena, Arkansas airport drug smuggling case. He died of 3 gunshot wounds. That's an obvious fucking murder if you ask me. 3 gunshot wounds? Murder. Number 15, Susan Coleman, reportedly had an affair with Clinton when he was Arkansas Attorney General. Died of a gunshot wound to the back of the head, ruled a suicide. Was pregnant at the time of her death. Any suicide where there's a gunshot wound to the back of the head is not a fucking suicide. I don't know why you would take the gun and go like this. What? How does that? Just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. 16, we got Paula Grober, Clinton's speech interpreter for the deaf from 1978 until her death in December 1992. She died in a 1-car accident. Now that could have just been convenient for this list. Number 17, Danny Casolaro, investigative reporter, investigating Mena Airport and Arkansas Development Finance Authority. He slit his wrists apparently in the middle of this investigation. It's just more suicides. How many people do you know that have committed suicide? I mean, I hope that you don't know that many. Number 18, Paul Wiltshire, attorney investigating corruption at Mena Airport with Casolaro in the 1980 October surprise, was found dead on a toilet June 22, 1993. In his Washington, D.C. apartment, he had delivered a report to Janet Reno 3 weeks before his death. If you notice, a lot of these deaths happen right after or right before they're about to give information about one of the Clintons or some other shit that they're into. Number 19, John Parnell Walker, Whitewater investigator for Resolution Trust Corp. Jumped to his death from his Arlington, Virginia apartment balcony August 15, 1993. He was investigating the Morgan Guarantee scandal. More suicide. Number 20, Barbara Wise, Commerce Department staffer, worked closely with Ron Brown and John Huang. Cause of death unknown. Died November 29, 1996. Her bruised naked body was found locked in her office at the Department of Commerce. This is fucking dark. All of these murders are fucking dark. And the fact that a little witchy ass motherfucking pandering bitch named Hillary Clinton could be behind them, or some big-nosed fucking pedophile named Bill Clinton could have a part of it, makes my fucking stomach turn. Fuck those people. Looks like we are almost halfway done. Number 21, Charles Meisner, Assistant Secretary of Commerce who gave John Huang special security clearance, died shortly thereafter in a small plane crash. Number 22, Dr. Stanley Hurd, Chairman of the National Chiropractic Healthcare Advisory Committee, died with his attorney Steve Dixon in a small plane crash. Dr. Hurd, in addition to serving on Clinton's advisory council, personally treated Clinton's mother, stepfather, and brother. He might just have died as collateral damage for some other shit. Number 23, Barry Seal, drug-running TWA pilot out of Mena, Arkansas. Death was no accident. No other information is reported on that. Maybe that's something to look into yourself. Number 24, Johnny Lawhorn Jr., mechanic, found a check made out to Bill Clinton in the trunk of a car left at his repair shop. He was found dead after his car had hit a utility pole. So he finds a check made out to Bill Clinton in the trunk of a car left at his repair shop, and then he hits a utility pole and dies. Could be coincidence. Number 25, Stanley Huggins, investigated Madison Guarantee. His death was a purported reported suicide, and his report was never released. What the fuck? Number 26, Herschel Friday. That's a cool-ass name. Attorney and Clinton fundraiser died March 1st, 1994 when his plane exploded. So are the Clintons just fucking blowing up planes and just fucking murdering people left and right in the 90s? Like, it was just, they just had... If it wasn't the Clintons, why are all of these people tied to the Clintons? And if someone just wanted to kill the Clintons, why wouldn't they have just done that? Why'd they have to kill all these other people instead? This one's juicy. Number 27, Kevin Ives and Don Henry, known as the Boys on the Track case. Reports say the boys may have stumbled upon the Mena, Arkansas airport drug operation, a controversial case. The initial report of death said due to falling asleep on the railroad tracks. Later reports claimed the two boys had been slain before being placed on the tracks. Many linked to the case died before their testimony could come before a grand jury. This shit needs to be reopened, and the Clintons need to be fucking charged for this shit. The following people had information on the Ives-Henry case. Number 28, Keith Coney, died when his motorcycle slammed into the back of a truck in 88. Number 29, Keith McMaskill, died stabbed 113 times in November 88. Number 30, Gregory Collins, died from a gunshot wound, January 89. 31, Jeff Rhodes, he was shot, mutilated, and found burned in a trash dump in April 1989. 32, James Milan, found decapitated. However, the coroner ruled his death was due to natural causes. What natural cause decapitates your fucking head from your body? That coroner needs to be fired. But he probably won't be because he's employed by the fucking Clintons. Number 34, Richard Winters, a suspect in the Ives-Henry deaths. He was killed in a setup robbery, July 89. So some true crime fucking podcast or channel needs to do the Ives and Henry case, the Boys on the Track case. They probably already have. Let's collaborate, guys. We'll find some shit out together that we can both have nightmares from. And I know it's a rough line of work, but the following Clinton bodyguards are also dead. Now this is 35 through 46. Major William S. Barkley Jr., Captain Scott J. Reynolds, Sergeant Brian Hanley, Sergeant Tim Sable, Major General William Robertson, Colonel William Densberger, Colonel Robert Kelly, Spec Gary Rhodes, Steve Willis, Robert Williams, Conway LeBleu, Todd McKeon. So those are, 11 bodyguards that have been found dead. I didn't look up how they were found, but I'm sure whatever information is out there is a pile of bullshit anyway, so what the fuck can we do? And I want to say, I did not forget about Seth Rich, the DNC employee who was like 26 or 27 and was straight up fucking murdered. I'm going to do a whole episode on Seth Rich because that shit is stinky. Like, there's no fucking way that you can get around that. Whether you want to come at it from the WikiLeaks side and he was working with Julian Assange or whatever you want to say. I know there was some Fox News bullshit. You might not have learned anything from this episode. You might have learned that there is actual death pool that comes with the Clinton administration. They are basically the political serial killers. I mean, you can watch your fucking stupid Broad City episode where they fucking love Hillary Clinton, and you can ignore all this shit if you want to, but you'd have to be a real stupid piece of shit with not much moral code. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how the fuck does 46 people die? I know a lot of people who have died, but that's because I know a lot of people who live fast lives. But I don't think I even know 46 people that have died. Do you know 46 people that have died that you know personally? And these are all personal. All of these people had personal relationships with the Clintons. So take that information for what it is and go do your own research. Maybe you'll find some shit that you didn't want to find. I'm going to link this main article that I found that has this. It's kind of a famous article, and it's kind of outdated because I'm sure since Seth Rich, more people that have been related to the Clintons have died. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. How does this many people die that are related to your administration? Thank you for watching. I have a lot of cool, not as dark shit coming out. I got an episode, a little series on John D and Enochian magic, and that shit is very deep. I'm doing a lot of reading. I'm doing a lot of research. I want all the information to be right for that shit because John D relates to the Philosopher's Stone. And you know I gotta get that shit right. I hope you enjoyed this super fucking dark, depressing episode. And of course, next week I'll be doing more Anunnaki shit. Because, like I said, I love the Anunnaki. Thank you for watching Philosopher's Stoned. I'm just a reporter, Clintons. Please don't hurt me or fucking suicide me. I'm not suicidal at all. I guess I need to say this at the end. I am not suicidal. So if any of the Clintons, if Chelsea's ugly ass is watching this, bitch, stay away from me. You don't want it. Fuck you, Bill.